Welcome to our Zephyr presentation. Launching on November the 5th, we have Viper's Daughter, Michelle Paver's latest instalment in her best-selling Wolf Brothers series, perfect to read as a standalone or as part of the original series. If you'd like to run wild with Wolf Brother, we have an exciting marketing campaign planned and a free POS to give away. In April, in Skin Taker, we see Torak's world plunged into a dark time that threatens the clan and everything they know. Proofs are now available.
Hello everyone. 5 years ago, when I was first starting to think about writing more Wolf Brother books, I got the idea of a catastrophe devastating Torak's world. Of course, at the time, I had no idea that when I was finishing writing Skin Taker, the whole world, the real world, would be in lockdown. Anyway, back to the Stone Age. It's midwinter, the dark time. A meteorite strikes the forest, plunging Torak's world into chaos. Demons are on the loose, bears are woken from their winter sleep. The clans, Torak's people, are struggling to survive. Do they pull together or turn on each other? And the forest itself, on which all life depends, the forest is dying. To save it, Torak has to risk everything. His sanity, his life, even his souls. As with the previous books, I want the reader of Skin Taker to feel that they're living the adventure with Torak and Ren and Wolf. So to make it real, I went to North Norway during midwinter. It was pretty cold, it was about -25 at times, and one night I was watching the Northern Lights and I actually saw a meteorite shoot across them. It felt like an omen. I also went to Alaska and tracked grizzly bears through the rainforest. I crawled into one of their dens. The bear was not at home at the time. And to get the feel of being lost underground, I spent a day in some caves in Gloucestershire, 200 feet down. And to get into them, I had to crawl through a tunnel about this high. The worst thing was knowing that to return to the surface, I had to crawl back through it. I'm hugely proud of Skin Taker. It's dark, intense, exciting. I think it's one of the best books I've ever written. Here's hoping that together we can achieve great things with it.
Annelise Gray makes her children's debut with Circus Maximus, Race to the Death, set on the greatest sporting stage of ancient Rome.
Hi, I'm Annelise Gray, and I'm the author of Circus Maximus, Race to the Death. If you notice a bit of an American accent, that is a hangover of my childhood growing up in Bermuda, which is a long way from ancient Rome and chariot racing. But the seeds were sown when my family moved to Dorset, and I was indoctrinated into a sinister British cult called the Pony Club. And then in my mid to late teens, the Romans superseded horses, and I ended up at Cambridge studying classics with Mary Beard. Circus Maximus is my love letter to the horse and pony adventure stories that I adored as a child. Ever since I read Enid Bagnall's National Velvet, I have been longing for the day when a female jockey really does win the Grand National. And a couple of years ago, I suddenly had the image of a plucky, young, horse-mad girl like Velvet Brown, but living in ancient Rome and dreaming the impossible dream of being a charioteer in the Circus Maximus. I knew I had to write her story, and I spent the next couple of years working on the book, fitting it in around my day job as a Latin teacher.
In the Cooking Club Detectives, we meet Erin, her puppy sausages and friends as they swap recipes for clues when they try to work out why their cooking club is closing. We begin Kat Dunn's dazzling YA trilogy in 2021 with the paperback outing of Dangerous Remedy in May, followed by a monstrous design in June. Set during the French Revolution, this series features a diverse list of characters, including an own voice queer romance. Malcolm Duffy's debut novel, Me Man, Me Dad, Me, was on the Waterstones Children's Prize shortlist. Sofa Surfer, a novel for readers 12+, looks at what it means to be homeless. Sally Gardner's The Tindims are borrowers on sea, turning out everyday rubbish into treasure. Ben Garrod's new Extinct series explores the story of life on Earth through the planet's major extinctions.
For as long as there have been species, there's been extinction. And extinction has claimed the lives of over 99.9% of the species that have ever lived on our planet. We tend to think extinction is a bad thing, and if you're going extinct, yeah, of course it is. But actually, it's the greatest driving force in nature, and it gives us this wonderful, dazzling diversity of species that we see around us today. For many of us, we're acutely aware that we're entering the 6th mass extinction. But my question is, how much do you know about the first 5? Well, they stretch back 500 million years, and each time these mass extinctions have claimed at least 75% of life on Earth, and one of these events claimed over 98%. What were they caused by? Well, you'd be amazed. We're talking towering glacial fields that stretch across continents up to 1 kilometre high. Insanely large lava fields that stretch for millions of square kilometres, killing everything in its path. And even trees have been implicated in some of the worst extinction events in Earth's history. So why am I writing a children's and young person series about extinction? It doesn't sound the most fun, does it? Well, actually, empowering young minds to understand extinction is really important. The future of life on Earth is in their hands. So to understand where we've come from, but also what lies in store for us, there's no more important story that we need to tell. I've teamed up with an incredible team from Head of Zeus and an amazing illustrator from the States to bring these wonderful, incredible stories to life.
And just to flag 2 wonderful novels that have been published this autumn in hardback: The Time Traveller and the Tiger by Tania Unsworth, and Finbar Hawkins' Witch, set in the 17th century, featuring witchcraft, revenge and a little magic. This is the perfect YA book for Halloween.
Hello, I'm Tania Unsworth, and I want to tell you about my latest book. Here it is. It's called The Time Traveller and the Tiger. And the thing about this book that I really want you to know is that it's an adventure story. I love adventure stories. I love the elements of danger in them, all those daring rescues and narrow escapes, and characters getting out of one tricky situation only to find another one even worse just a few pages later. Adventure stories are often set in dangerous locations, the sort of places where it's easy to get lost, full of unseen pitfalls, and usually an evil villain or two, and at least one sinister plot. I wanted to put as much of that as I could into this book. It tells the story of a girl called Elsie, who, almost by accident, is sent back in time 74 years to India, where she meets her own great-uncle John when he's a boy of 12 years old. Elsie has a mission. She knows she has to stop Uncle John from doing something absolutely terrible, from making the biggest mistake of his life, in fact. Somehow, she has to stop him from shooting and killing a tiger. Of course, this is much easier said than done. For one thing, John is incredibly stubborn and doesn't believe a word she says. For another, she's in the middle of the Indian forest, which is an extremely dangerous place. Not only are there tigers there, but there are charging elephants and giant spiders and whitewater rapids and all sorts of perils like that. But it's not until Elsie, John and their friend Mandeep run into a group of evil trophy hunters that their troubles really begin.